Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. If you're new, hi, my name is Pamela Manana and I hope you stay. And if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. I hope you brought a friend and I hope you enjoy this video. Now it is the month of June, so I thought it would be very, very special to invite someone very, very special to me, very, very special to my journey in NW in my university. And just special in general, special for the sake of being special. So I'll let him introduce himself.
Yes.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Keorapetse wa Mokwena. I am a Northwest University alumni. I hold a BA Law degree with Political Sciences. I am an MC. I did a bit of radio and youth broadcasting here and there. But most of all, I am Pam's friend and part of the family. And thank you so much for having me.
So happy to have you here. First things first, happy Pride Month to you.
Thank you. Thank
Love
you so
the
much.
colors. You're bringing the pride through today. And happy Pride Month to everybody who's celebrating that. I think it's the international
It's
one.
international, absolutely.
Yes. So to commemorate Pride Month, I thought I would just bring Keo over to have conversations that we always have off camera. But because they're so insightful, intuitive, I felt like these are conversations that other people should hear as well, because it's not easy being Keo. I think you're going to let them know how hard it actually is being you, and some of the challenges you've faced in your life because of something that you were born with, born as.
Absolutely.
So a few disclaimers. We might, because I am learning about this as well, it's not something that I'm comfortable with as well, like in the sense that I can speak confidently on because of knowledge. It's something that I still have to educate myself with. We might run the risk of offending a few people, so apologies in advance for that. Literally, it's just going to be a conversation where he educates me and educates us here on this platform, here on this channel, and hopefully we can learn something today about everything that we need to know, especially as the youth,
Absolutely.
So backstory: who is Keo? Besides these big titles that have come now recently, where were you born, and your parents, who raised you, basically?
So like I've said, Keorapetse wa Mokwena, right? And on stage I am Uncle K. I think everyone knows me as that. I grew up in a small village called Keorapetse in the northwest in the Bojanala district. And then I proceeded to go Soweto in Naledi. I think Soweto is where most of my dreams were actually birthed. So I owe so much of myself to Soweto. I also have bits and pieces of myself in Soshanguve, Komabopane, Alexandranyana here and there. So I'm a big township boy. I grew up in the township. I am raised like so many other people. I am raised by a single mother, a hero, and I think this is not like a story that is very foreign to a lot of us. So we are mostly brought up by single mothers here and there. And then if your father is there, there's this, like, you get what I mean? You are lucky, or he's there but not available. You get what I mean? So I share that story with so many other people. So I'm raised by my single mother. And then, at some point, I was raised by a trailblazing grandmother who is late now. And that's just that. I enjoyed my life, Kokasi. But you know how Kasi comes. Kasi comes with a lot of stereotypes. Kasi comes with a lot of bullying, a lot of restrictions, a lot of boxing, Like I said, I think I once told you that I was told that I was gay before I even knew what that was. I was told that I was gay. I was told that he's stubborn and he's choosing and all of these things. And I'm just like, but what is that?
Who told you? Who are saying these things?
It's kids.
Were they your age?
They are my age, but also I'm very young at the time. I think I'm 12. But they're just people that already know gay and all of these things. Before I even knew what that was, And I hated being gay.
How old were you when you were hearing these things?
I'm 12 and 13, somewhere along.
So you're entering puberty.
I'm entering puberty, right? Okay. And at the time, I am always around girls. I prefer doll. By choice and also by how I feel, because I am girls make me feel alive. You know, obviously because of probably my sexuality, you know, I am more attracted to femininity in terms of vibes and everything else. So I was around girls. I wanted a doll and not a car. I just loved feminine stuff.
Did you what do you call this? Did you have any sisters?
I did.
Female cousins.
I did.
So you were around them?
Absolutely.
And how did they welcome you?
They did. You know, they did. And I think we're going to get into this, that for me, my journey was not the journey of actual coming out. It was a journey of having to accept myself. So everyone around me had fully accepted that I am this person. I am girly. I want to be with girls and not with boys. So that's my story. That's my story. So my cousins, my sisters were very accepting. My mom very accepting as well. So everyone around me didn't have a problem with how I am, but I did. It was a me problem.
Oh, yeah. But you know what I think as well, though?
Do you tell me?
For many people, it is exactly like that. It's not coming out, it's accepting yourself.
Absolutely.
That is actually extremely profound to say, because when you accept yourself, what other people say is null and void.
It's null and void, Pam. And one thing about me, as soon as I accepted myself, the entire world was my oyster. There's so much magic in the acceptance of self. So much magic. And I say this all the time. If you get that, if you accept yourself, you are unstoppable. You become unstoppable.
No one can tell you.
No one can tell me anything. And right now, when I walk into a room, I walk like God himself sent me there. When I speak like an oracle of God, because I had to accept every fiber of my being and actually realize that who I am is just breathed by God. Like I'm a walking masterpiece.
You're a vessel.
I am a vessel. You get what I mean? So I had to accept that about myself, and the world has been nothing but my oyster ever since I accepted myself.
All right. Gio is 12. He's 13. He's entering puberty. He's being told he's gay. And he doesn't know what gay is, and he resonates so much with the females in his life. What is your grandmother saying? What is your mother saying?
Nothing, because there's nothing to say.
Okay.
And I always say this, in most cases, Pam, you know that I always had a problem with being called gay. I think I still do. And I'll tell you why. Yeah, till this day. And I'll tell you why. There's so many boxes in society. So many boxes. And we all have to fit into a box. That's why I was told I was gay, because of how I was acting, how I did things. At age 12, I'm already told that I'm something, without me even knowing what that is. So if you ask me what I am right now, I'm just being.
Yeah, you're living.
I'm living. I'm in a state of existence. I am becoming. And in most cases, I am nothing. Because these titles, these boxes are very limiting as well. And they contain you. So you can't live outside the box. Right? So I am being. I am becoming. When you saw me for the first time in August 2020, I think I'm different from the person you met. Why? Because I am becoming. I am existing. So these boxes say you are this, and you have to confine yourself into this. That's my biggest problem.
Full stop.
That's my full stop. So I am becoming. I am in a state of being.
Because the person you were yesterday cannot be the same person you are.
It shouldn't be.
Like, human nature is change is human nature. That's the equation. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
So we are forever transcending.
I fully understand where you're coming from with that. So okay, so now you're in high school, okay, and then I wanna know when the acceptance began actually.
Very weird, my love. Very weird. In high school, I was still battling myself.
Okay.
A lot. In high school, I didn't have like that high school experience. We are dating. It's adolescence, right? Everyone is dating, banyaning, crushes. I never had that experience.
Okay.
Because I'm battling myself. Because I know I wanna tell Jabulani gore ke a go rata jo. like I love you, but I like you. You know, but we can't do that because Rikokasi, and there's this environment, there's teachers, there's these people that are telling you that you are something and you're not even aware of what that thing is, you know. So high school, I was still battling myself a lot. Of course, in that battle, there's times where you're running after a girl, telling her you like her, just to also feel like you belong, you fit in.
So you've made that, you've had that experience.
I've had that experience, and it was not pleasant.
Did she make you feel like you weren't doing the right thing?
She did. They did. It's not one, right? But also, even you within, you just feel like, what am I doing? You know, so most of my journey, I am very individualistic in nature. So most of the things that I speak about are my experience, how I felt at the time.
Personal.
It's very personal. So yes, they did things, they said things, but myself from within, I just felt like I'm not honoring myself. I'm doing a disservice to myself.
You're not living your truth.
I'm not living my truth. That is that about me. So it was not pleasant. I just constantly felt like I'm crushing my human spirit to the core. So I never had that experience. We in high school, king mina school bag, and all of that. I never had that experience at all.
Fast forward, NW first year, and guys, let me tell you about NW first year. That's when you see that there's actually a world where you can just be. Like, I don't want to lie, I'm not saying that this school is the best in the world, but I love my school personally.
Shout out.
But like the amount of, you know, when you look around you and people are actually free, like you can sense that this person, they come from a place where they're not allowed to be this free. You understand? Did you have that same experience when you got here?
Let me tell you about shackles, right? Chains, right? You will not break loose unless you decide to break loose.
It's a choice.
It's a choice.
All right.
And it's not an easy one to make. So I came here first year in 2019. There's people that you describe are very free, very, you know,
liberated.
Themselves. They're very liberated. They're very emancipated. I hated them.
Fun fact.
I hated gay people, lesbian people.
Serious?
I'm serious. Why? They are living what I should be living.
Your dream.
You get what I mean? And also, it's projection. Right? Because I know I'm this person. I should be this person. But I'm not. Right? So it was a lot of self-hate that these people, you get what I mean? It was a lot of self-hate.
That you were just not projecting onto them.
Absolutely. So I didn't want gay people close to me. I didn't want gay people.
So you had heterosexual friends in first year?
Full on. Plus, I love you guys. I love heterosexual people.
He loves us.
I love heterosexual people. Even now, most of my circles just heterosexual people. So in first year, Pam, I had a lot of self-hate. Right?
Identity
crisis. I did not want to see gay people.
For some reason, I thought that you were the one who was like liberated.
Never, ever. So I never had that. First year, I was very in my cocoon. I was very closed off. I was hiding so much about myself. You know,
it's a big world that you're now exposed to, Pella, now. And you're still scared to make the choice to live your truth. Nah?
Absolutely. Plus, first year, I am full-blown Christian, nothing else, you know. And for some reason, churches are the biggest devices of homophobia, right? You are not going to heaven because you are in the Lgbtq community.
Okay. I want to tackle this topic now that we're here. Hold on.
It, yeah.
You are Christian. I don't like saying Christian because the same reason. Not only homophobia, just hatred.
Yeah.
It stems from the church. I don't want to lie.
Yeah.
So you have a relationship with God. You believe He exists. You're a firm believer. You are like you.
Absolutely.
You said.
Absolutely.
Simultaneously, you're homosexual. When people say how, what do you say? Like, how is that possible? What do you say to them?
It's very hard, Pam. Listen, so when we speak about Christianity, right, we speak about people that believe in Christ, right? And for me, at that time, when they asked me how, I didn't know how.
Okay.
Because now the Bible...
You didn't have the answer.
I didn't have the answer. And also, if I am to answer, I am to make reference to the Bible. Correct? And the Bible, I'm not going to quote scripture, but there's stories in Genesis where Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed because of homosexual people. And there's also like a scripture somewhere, I think should be Isaiah or Colossians. I'm sorry, I'm not. You know, it also mentions that drunkards, homosexuals are not going to inherit the kingdom of God. So I personally, after my self-acceptance, had to explore a relationship with God.
And what it meant for you.
What it meant for me.
People.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So that for me, now I can explain that God is so personal to me that I can access the throne of God with my nail polish, with my flair, with my flamboyance, and it's so good. That even the Bible will tell you that come as you are, without restrictions, you know, that you enter the throne room of God with boldness, you know. So I've had to establish that for myself, that God is personal, that God accepts us for who we are, you know. So back to your question, how was I Christian and gay?
How are you Christian and gay? Because you was. Don't say was. You are still very much Christian, Chobi.
No, I'm still very believing.
Yes.
You know, I'm still very
but
believing.
Now you have the answer when someone says.
Yeah. Yeah. So I am very content with the relationship I have with God.
Because it's yours.
Because God is mine. And I'm God's.
Okay.
You know, so that is that. My relationship with God currently is flourishing, you know, because I'm not struggling. And I say this all the time, Pam, that if being me will send me to hell, then I might as well live my heaven on earth.
Okay, that is extremely bold to say.
Yeah, I'm going to have my experience of heaven on earth. And heaven for me is just the expression of self, Pam.
Okay.
So I'm living to fully and truly express myself to the highest degree that I can, so that when I leave, I would say I have lived. I have lived.
Okay, I wanted to ask you this question because we're living in a very, what can I say? Social media. So everybody has freedom of speech. Everybody has the right to express themselves however they want without consequences. All of this, whatever's going on.
Yeah.
The LGBTQI community is something that I only learned about. I won't lie, fully learned and like educated myself on when I got here, because that's when I was fully exposed to it, because we were also part of the people who was just putting the gay titles on people because they walked a certain way,
they dressed
a certain way, they had these friends, not understanding. You understand? So I want to take it to the conversation of identifying. What do you identify yourself as? Who do you? Because I don't like saying what as if you're an object.
It's a thing.
Yeah. Who do you identify as? And what are your pronouns if you do subscribe to pronouns?
I am, for the purposes of this conversation and for the purposes of allowing self to be boxed, right? So for the purposes of this conversation, I am gay, right? But remember I told you that I'm just being, I'm just human, right?
And for like technicalities, you need to take something on a form.
You get what I mean? Yeah, so I am gay, very comfortable in my masculinity as well.
Are you really?
Very comfortable in my masculinity.
Do people know that about you?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so, but I'm incredibly comfortable in my masculinity as well. And I always say, hore, homosexuality for me is not an elimination from masculinity.
Okay. Okay,
I can still own my masculinity and still embrace, you know, because we exist, Pam, in constant duality that says femininity can coexist with masculinity, you know, and my pronouns are he and his and everything masculine. I'm very masculine. That's why I made the bold step of saying, in my femininity, Pam, I will still call myself Uncle K. I'm very strategic about that.
Okay.
I remember the last time I did an event, I was wearing a big skirt, had makeup on, and all of these things, and I still introduced myself as Uncle K, because I realized that I honor my masculinity as well. You know, I'm not eliminating myself from my masculinity. I'm still...
You don't hate that you're a male?
No.
So, because that's the conversation. The conversation is the gay, they hate the fact that they were born male.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. And I think...
You feel like God knew what he was doing?
I believe in a non-making mistake God.
Yes, perfect.
You know, I'm perfect. I said I'm a masterpiece without fault. Without fault. So God didn't forget to put I'm gonna say this, boobs, and decided, no, we're gonna make it flat. You know, so I am very perfect, you know, in my existence. You know, so I am comfortable in my masculinity, regardless of my twang, regardless of my flair, my flamboyance, and everything. I still subscribe to masculinity. That is why I will not hesitate to tick male on a form, because I'm just like, yes, I am. I really am. I'm male.
Okay, I'm gonna throw you into the deep end here. How do you feel about the people who think that a mistake was made then? Disclaimer again, guys. I have a friend who's transgender. There are high chance she is watching this. She's a transgender woman. Her name is KG. So we live with people who believe that they were supposed to be born of the opposite gender, of the opposite sex. What's your take on that?
In the same breath where I'm comfortable with my masculinity, I just feel like everyone must be comfortable in who they are, right? And I'm taking you here. We live in a society, like you said, where everyone can want to, or believes that they should be who they think they are, right? And I don't have a problem, right?
They're allowed.
They are allowed to. You know, they are allowed to. And we need to give people that freedom, right? So I honor them. I honor the God in them, that I am male, but I just feel like I should have been a female. It's how they feel. It's how they identify. And I do honor that.
Okay.
But at some point, Pam, we need to... Because this conversation is a conversation that we have all the time, right? And society is opening up to it. Right? Slowly, right? But at what point are we going to... Because I feel like there's just a lot of absurdity in this whole thing.
Please.
There's a lot of absurdity in this thing where we're just allowing things to just flow.
And there's a danger with
there's
anarchy.
There's a danger in that. And I believe that forced transformation is not transformation at all. We're going to have to hit the ground. As the LGBTQ community, we're going to have to hit the ground, right? And we have to bounce back, right? Because, take this, our country at some point was in the apartheid regime, right? Apartheid, right? And then at some point, we were sold a dream that we are transforming and transitioning into a democracy or a world where everyone is going to be accepted. Look at where we are now. It's a mess. Right? So the LGBTQ community needs at some point to clean the house first.
Yes.
Right? Because even in the community, there's still people that don't understand pronouns, that don't understand transgenderism, that don't understand all these things within the community itself. But what we want to do now as the community is to go out and go point fingers at heterosexual people on things that we ourselves don't even understand.
Okay.
So we have to do an inside out.
You can't educate a person if you and how.
They
always say, if you can't explain it to a 5-year-old, you don't understand it enough.
Absolutely. And that is where we are as the community.
Okay.
There's a lot of misunderstanding within.
And you know what? Every house needs rules.
Yeah.
because without rules, there's anarchy. There's
destruction.
Exactly. That's why we have robots. That's why we have road rules. That's why we have the law. That's why we have all these things. So I want to also ask about this, because yes, people can identify as certain things and all of that, but what happens now when we're in danger of someone who solely believes and deeply identifies as a female, so is then allowed to enter, and he's a male by biology, and then he solely believes that he is supposed to be a female, so he is now then allowed to enter a woman's bathroom, and then he sexually harasses us. What happens in those cases? Because there needs to be some form of accountability and some form of something, some form of safeguard, you know?
That's why, Pam, I speak about a lot of absurdity.
Okay.
Everything is just so bizarre. Everything is so absurd. Everything is just, nothing is putting anything into place.
Okay.
Right? So everything is just flowing and floating. And we are risking so many things in that. Like you say, someone identifies as female, but they are male, and then accesses female bathrooms and sexually assault. There's nothing that is going to hold that person accountable. Because now we are now skating on freedom of expression, freedom of choice, freedom of everything, you know. And in the society that we live in, we need to do away with such things, Pam. We need to do away with this absurdity and this fallacious belief that you can be what you want to be. Yes, you can. Right? But where do we draw the line? Where do we draw the line?
It's not your world.
It's not your world.
We're not saying that you can't be who you are. We're saying it's not your house.
And we need to coexist.
Yes.
We need to coexist.
For us to coexist, people's rights need to be respected. Because your right should not violate mine.
And that's what's happening now.
Exactly.
That is what is happening now. And nothing is holding, or like there's no law, there's nothing that holds. People are trying to be above the law. And no one should be above the law, right? And there's absolutely, and there's rights that are subscribed to females and to males, right? Now the absurdity is, and there's this person that I know, right? And they identify as transgender, right? And they still have everything in place that says they are male, right? That's fine. But they are not even undergoing any medical procedures to alter, you know, their private parts or their hormones or anything like that. So you are transgender, now you want to access female bathrooms and all of that. I think the solution should be the implementation of these neutral bathrooms.
Okay.
I think that's just that, because now so much is still at stake.
These neutral bathrooms, they don't remove the traditional ones.
No. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
They all coexist.
Please.
Okay.
Please. There should be a coexistence, because let's not remove privileges that are given to heterosexual people. Because also, Pam, you get what I mean? You also you enjoy your, I'd like to assume, you enjoy your heterosexuality. And nothing should at any point come to your rights and your privileges as a heterosexual person being taken away from you.
Okay.
Because we are trying to be equal. We're trying to live in a society where we are all equal and it's inclusive and it's diverse. It's beautiful to be in a society like that. But also don't take away the fact that Pam is heterosexual and she wants to remain as that. And she wants and be comfortable with that, and also respect her privacy in that.
Very important, very important.
You know, like Pam is not even comfortable with the thing. Pam still wants to have that heterosexual privilege, and I think that's very important. And in the community as well, we need to stop saying conversations like this or things like that. We need to stop saying they are homophobic. Or they don't want to.
You can't slap those names on anything.
Ever.
Because sometimes, just because it's something that you don't like, it doesn't mean it's homophobic.
And also, heterosexual people are allowed to not understand your homosexuality.
Repeat that.
Heterosexuals are more than welcome not to accept your homosexuality.
You believe that?
Yeah. The conversation, Pam, is you should just respect me.
As a person?
As a person.
Okay.
Just respect
That's what human rights are. It's not sexual rights or sexuality rights. It's human rights. And for the fact that you're a human being, you deserve respect and dignity through and through.
Absolutely. So you are allowed to look at me, Keapere, my skirt, and say, this is messed up. You're allowed to.
But I'm not allowed to come and kill you for that.
No. That's where the problem is.
And that is homophobia.
That is homophobia. But they're not understanding. You're allowed to. We are human beings. We live in a society, right? And if you don't understand something, it's okay. Just don't come at me. Don't be homophobic now.
Okay.
If you don't understand my sexuality, if you don't understand transgender people,
and you're not willing to learn,
absolutely. Yeah, if you don't understand bisexuality, or how are you attracted to both females and whatnot, it's fine if you don't understand.
Okay.
You know, so that's the conversation. That me not understanding doesn't mean that I'm homophobic. You know, and even if you teach me, even if I come and teach you, Pam, if you still don't understand, it's okay.
Yes, right.
Don't do all these things. Then that's where we pin the homophobia title.
Okay, and now if I don't, this is a conversation that I had with my man. If I don't wave the flag, does that mean I'm homophobic? If I don't come out and say I'm an ally, no, not part of the community, but I don't say I'm an ally. I don't go to these pride walks. I don't go to these pride wall unveilings. I don't celebrate pride. I don't have I don't wish other people happy Pride Month. You know, for those who have the flag on their bio. Am I homophobic?
You choose not to, and it's fine.
Am I homophobic?
No,
okay,
because you choose not to.
Understand that.
The same reason why homosexuals and the LGBTQ community will speak about freedom of choice, you still choose not to. Okay. And it's fine. It's not homophobic.
Because it's not wrong if there's a walk for femicide happening and you don't go. It doesn't necessarily mean that you hate women who are being killed. It just means you didn't go.
You didn't go. Absolutely.
Okay,
so
that makes
it's
sense.
not homophobic. Pam, you will not see a flag, the LGBTQI next to my name. And if you did save my number as Keorapetse with a flag, please remove it. Okay,
why? Okay, tell me about that.
I don't subscribe to the LGBTQI community.
Okay. This is very interesting. It's getting interesting, guys.
I do not.
Okay.
I do not, Pam. And this is because, number one, I don't understand what the community is for.
Okay.
Right? And you will hear that it was established to advocate for rights of the LGBTQ community and people that subscribe to it and all of that. And we're grateful, right, that there's a fraternity, a group of people that stood for that, right? But personally, Keorapetse, I can't say anything because I just feel also at my lowest with regards to my sexuality. The community was not there. Okay. Right? So like I said, I am that I am. Right? So the community is an entity that exists, right? It's there, right? But for me personally, I do not subscribe to it because it's an organization, right? And would know for an organization we have to do memberships, I did not do that. Okay. I do not subscribe to anything relating to the LGBTQ community. I'm proudly myself, right? But the community, the flag, the everything, no, not for me.
All right. And you're like that, you know why I find that interesting? Because people who find themselves accepting that they're homosexual think that instantaneously I have to wear the flag, I have to fly the flag, I have to wear the shirts, I have to walk the walk.
Because
why?
Socks. Because why? The box again.
So some people want the box, ne?
Some people are comfortable in the box.
Okay.
Some people are in the box because Pam, I'm gonna tell you, when I started accepting myself, I became Keorapetse, Mokwena, with the flag. right? Because immediately when you say I'm gay, already you want to subscribe to certain norms and certain practices and dilo tsa teng. You get what I mean? And for me, it was just, when did I become this flag person? And what does this flag represent, guy? You know, and what does this flag represent? And about me, what is it that is flaggy and pridey and all of these things? You know, and I don't have anything against it. I don't have anything against it. Because I don't want to blanket myself and blanket approach me, you know, because I'm an individual, you know, before anything. And I exist in my individualism. Right, and I don't have problem with people. I don't have a problem with people that identify with the flag, with the LGBTQI pride, and all of these things. And if anything, I will support, but I will not own these things, especially because I do not know where it is.
Okay, very important. Understand something's origin before you subscribe to it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And without them, would I still exist?
Yes.
And if the answer is yes, then I can still live with that.
Yes.
I am so proud to be myself, and I am this person, and I don't identify as, you know, flaggy and pridey and everything, and I can still exist. So I don't want to blanket approach anything about myself. I don't want to own to things so I don't understand where they come from. But I do own up myself and my existence. Fully so.
Makes sense. All right. And then, okay, another question. Can a child know from as young as they can speak that they're homosexual? Is it possible? Or do you think they get confused? What happens, do you think? Like, let's say, for instance, when you have a baby, and I'm presuming that 4 is when they can think and talk for themselves logically now, not 3 per se, because they can talk but not necessarily think for themselves. Or maybe 3, maybe as early as 3, but when a child can speak now, speak, understand, react, respond, and they can come up to you as your child and say, I'm gay, do you think that is factual? It's possible, it can happen?
We know that we are different, right? Not necessarily we know that we are gay or anything. Also, I think the homosexuality conversation is very much flawed now. So what is homosexuality, Pam? It is sexual attraction to the same gender. Okay. Right? So at age 3, what do you know about feelings and sexual attraction? Okay. But what we will know, Pam, is that this person is inclined to their femininity.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
You get what I mean? Okay. Is inclined to their femininity. So I think at age 3, already there was hints, not of homosexuality.
Of what's more dominant, which is between masculinity and femininity. Okay.
Yeah, so the whole homosexuality conversation is one that we can start having once we reach your puberties. Because, Pam, my love, there's males that are very much heterosexual and are still very feminine. Heterosexual people that are feminine.
Are they not called metrosexuals?
It's metrosexuality.
Yes.
It's metrosexuality. But I still want Pam. I still want to get married to a female.
Okay.
You get what I mean? So femininity, like I said, femininity and masculinity can coexist. You know, so couple age 3 and age mamang, I'm just feminine. And in that, I'm just being. You know, so that is why at some point, for you to say a child that's 3 is gay, you are insulting the child.
Yeah. What papa and like, and you don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly, because that child is just being. That child is just existing, and they don't know better or worse. They just
and when they hear
themselves.
that word, it can actually even destroy their growth, because now they're boxed. You boxed them
already.
As a mzali, even you can actually do that.
Yeah.
Scary, ne?
Very scary.
And that's a very sensitive age.
It's very sensitive, Pam. It's very sensitive. And my thing is, that child is just existing. And there's always a conversation where they look at a child behaving or acting and like maybe a boy, let me just say a boy, being a bit more feminine already. Yeah, gay. And I'm just like, but when did we get there? What is this gay thing? That you can already say that a child that's 3 is already gay, already you are sexualizing her already, already. So there's just a lot that we are missing. And there's a lot of boxing that we do as society. Very interesting. When we do gender reveals, there's just 2 colors, the pink and the blue. But what if I'm outside this?
What color do you want to see then?
I will not suggest a color. You know, I will not. But my thing is, Pam, society in its nature is already boxing. Right? So that when we do all these gender reveals and all of that, it's either boy or male and all of that. But to a certain extent, there has to be a level of inclusion that this person is a person. Because these colors are also just limiting, and because already when it says it's a boy, as a parent, you already have like
blue.
It's blue, yes. And you already have like expectations of what is to come out.
Okay.
Right, and how the child is supposed to act from birth going forward. And then you just find out that your child is just different. And now you're
disappointed. And that child can feel that disappointment as young as they are. That
as young
I'm
as
not
they are.
What you wanted.
Yeah, why are you not playing with boys? Why are you not playing soccer? Why are you not doing all these things? And it's because we've allowed ourselves to be boxed as society. And in most cases, parents make the mistake of thinking that when a child is born gay, or they notice that the child is feminine and probably could develop or grow to be, or to show. This conversation is very thin because it's very you have to choose your words correctly.
More,
you know. So yeah, parents think that they made a mistake in how they brought up the child. That's why the child is born, or the child is gay. So parents always blame themselves on how they raised the child. Maybe I allowed him to be around girls too much. Maybe I shouldn't have allowed this child to be around these people.
Maybe I should have forced the sports down his throat.
You get. Okay. And people are born gay. They are not made gay by circumstance.
Okay.
We are born gay, not because the father was not. Because I actually asked myself this question quite a lot. Maybe I'm like this because I didn't have male figures in my life. You know, but you actually realize that we are born gay. We are not made gay.
Okay. That's a lot of thinking to do here, and I really we've had this conversation for so long off cam.
Yeah.
But today there's 10 million things I learned that I noted down.
I'm happy.
And for the sake of time, we have to wrap this up here. But happy Pride Month to you.
Are we done? Ask me where I grew up.
You said so.
Ask me if I'm gay or not.
You said everything. Trust
no,
me.
man, I had so much fun. I had so much fun.
For time constraints, my angel. And you know us, when we're together, we can go on
forever.
The biscuit. And the world is ours, Sana.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope I know that he was the perfect guest for this topic.